There's no such thing as work-life balance. None! Okay, you have a question.
Yeah, about a role play.
Okay.
Well, how to get the line of credit with the banks.
Okay, good question. All of you, if you're in business and you don't have a line of credit or an overdraft, as they're called in Europe, something's not right. The rule of thumb is your overdraft, your line of credit should be 10% of your revenue. If you do $1 million in revenue, you should have 100,000 overdraft. Overdraft is a credit facility that you set up with a bank, normally guaranteed by your business revenue, and yourself, meaning you're going to have to sign for it. But it's money that they stands ready, not being used, in a separate account at the bank, the financial institution, that you can draw down on, if sales are off, you want to spend money on capital expenditures, CapEx, unexpected CapEx, capital expenditure. All of a sudden you're doing so much business. Let's say you're manufacturing and clothing. You need to buy a new machine to do this stitching or whatever. And you go to the bank, and if you're in business, you'll be hard pressed to get an overdraft but you've got no business, because the overdraft is guaranteed by the revenues of the business and by you personally. So, but for those of you that have businesses and that you have, a few $100,000 in revenue, or a few $1 million in revenue, you should easily be able to get an overdraft or a line of credit for at least 10%. So if you do $1 million, you can get 100,000. If you do 500,000, you should be able to get 50,000. And if the bank tells you no, next you go to another bank. There's no reason for you not to have an overdraft. I mean, credit cards have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,000. That's the same or similar to an overdraft. The difference is, on a credit card, if you read the document, you're paying between 18 and 24% interest annualized. On an overdraft, you might be paying 1 or 2 or 3% over prime, over LIBOR, whatever the business rate. So that would mean you're paying 8% maybe, 7, 8, 9%, not 18 to 24% that you would pay on a credit card. Credit card rates are usurious, meaning, they ought to go to jail. And by the way, you can reduce your credit card, YouTube as well. You can reduce the rates you pay on credit cards. Back in the day, I used to call credit card people every 12 to 24 months, and I'd say, I want an extended amount. I want it to go from 20 to 30 or 20 to $50,000, and I want a reduced rate. And they say, no, I'm afraid we can't do that. I say, okay, I'll cancel the credit card. Then you go through 2 or 3 people, and then finally you get to a manager. And you say the same thing. I want to go from 25 to 50,000 on the credit card, or 5 to 10,000, whatever it is, and I want the rate to be reduced. And they'll say no, and I'll say, well, fine. Just like I told the other 4 people, cancel the credit card. They will not cancel the credit card. They will give you, okay, you now got 10, we'll give you 15. Or you now got 20, we'll give you 30. And the rate, okay, now you're paying 24, we'll cut it to 20. Or you're now paying 18, we'll cut it to 13. All rates are negotiable, including your mortgages.